I'd like to call the meeting to order. Ms. Ford.
Chairman Wingate.
Here.
Vice Chairman Robinson.
Here.
Dr. Highlander.
Here.
Mrs. Hill.
Here.
Mrs. Jones.
Here.
Mrs. Lennon.
Here.
Mr. McClendon.
Here.
Mr. Smith. Here. Mrs. Thurman.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Superintendent Dr. Johnson.
Here. All right, you have before you, there's some amendments to the agenda tonight. The first one would be under exemplars of excellence, a recognition of state runner-ups and state champions in wrestling. Also, removing from the agenda item Roman numeral 8E1, request for new grant-funded positions. Then also, under board policies, removing E, F, G, G, H, H, I, J, J, K, K, L, L, and M, M from the policies to be approved. And then lastly, adding approval of special courses under administrative business matters for the next school year, 2019-2020. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Ms. Ford.
Okay, I got Ms. Robinson, and who's second? Ms. Lennon. Highlander. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? Or do we see a list of the special courses? Do we have a list of those?
You do. It's on your green sheet. I know. Dr. Highlander.
Here. Yes. Sorry.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mrs. Lennon.
Yes.
Mr. McClendon.
Yes.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Thurman.
Yes.
Chairman Wingate.
Yes. Next, we will have our pledge to the flag and our meditation by Ms. Christy Drake, Principal of East Ridge Middle School.
Good evening. We have Horenze Alonzo that will help us do our pledge. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Good evening. To Dr. Johnson, Chairman Wingate, and fellow board members, thank you for this opportunity to do the meditation for this gathering today. My name is Christy Caldwell Drake. I am the proud principal of East Ridge Middle School, home of the Pioneers. It is moments like this that I'm reminded of three guiding principles my mother and my father taught me as a little girl. The first one, it takes a village or a community to raise a child. Second, to whom much is given, much is required. The third, never give up. As I look around this room this evening, I am keenly aware of these guiding principles. There is tremendous value in this village for those who have been given this awesome responsibility to help raise and educate our community's young people. What a daunting task to the public educators in today's world. We have been given much. We are entrusted with the best and most valued resource and commodity in our community, our precious children. We take them daily and challenge them, teach them, shape and mold them, encourage them, discipline them, train them, and yes, sometimes we even tolerate them. But all is an effort to inspire them to become the best version of themselves they can possibly be. This is what we signed up to do, educate the children of our village. And this evening, I celebrate and appreciate all of you who take part in this arena of public education. I was inspired recently by our superintendent, Dr. Brian Johnson, at his State of the System address at CSAS, where my son happens to be a senior in the class of 2019. He challenged all of us stakeholders to help him serve the promise, not only to his children, but to all the children of Hamilton County, to succeed in becoming ready for the future. Much has been given, and much will be required. I leave with you the East Ridge Middle School Ensemble. Come on. Directed by Darius Barber, who will hopefully inspire all of you to continue to keep moving forward, keep the promise, and to never give up.
Guys, come forward real quick. Let us shake your hand real quick. That was great.
This way.
Everybody straight before table 6. Right in front of them. That's right.
Alonzo. Okay. I'm going to let her spell it when she comes around. And I don't want to misspell it.
What's Darius?
Barber. Yeah, that's Darius. Great. Thank you.
I think our 14 is.
Next, we will have our exemplars of excellence. Dr. Larry Reynolds.
Yes, I wanted to, tonight, I have the honor of recognizing a really special young lady. Madison Hayes is her name. She was named the TSSAA Division I Class 3A Miss Basketball. Now, this is an honor that very few people in the state get. It's a statewide award. It's given for students that not only do well in the sport of basketball, but also have extraordinary character and scholarship as well. A statewide committee of sports writers select these winners based on the performances during this past year, the 2018-19 regular school season. Now, Ms. Hayes averaged 24 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 3.5 blocks, and 3.2 steals in her junior season. And she's been recruited by at least 30 Division I schools. So congratulations to Madison Hayes. You want to say something?
I would like to thank my family and God for giving me this opportunity to become a good basketball player and to play for a good school at East Hamilton. I couldn't thank them anymore, so I'm blessed to have this. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm going to ask Brad Jackson, right behind you, our campus sports specialist. Has it been since what, 96?
99.
99 since Hamilton.
She's the second female Miss Basketball from this whole area in the history since 1986. Congratulations.
Madison, congratulations again. I'm going to catch you now. I know you didn't get that athletic ability from Dad going out the door. You weren't getting out of here scot-free, man. See you guys later. All right, Mr. Brad Jackson, our campus support specialist, will have our next recognition.
Thank you, sir. Chairman of the board, Mr. Wingate, Superintendent Dr. Brian Johnson, and the rest of the Hamilton County School Board, it is my honor as a campus support specialist / district athletic director to recognize Signal Mountain High School wrestling team and the following individual wrestlers on their accomplishments at the 2019 TSSAA State Wrestling Championships. Before I introduce each of these wrestlers, I would also like to congratulate each of their coaches who provided the leadership and guidance for each of them to reach this plateau. My first introduction and recognition goes to the head coach at Signal Mountain High School, Coach Joe Jellison. His assistants are Dalton Clark, Joe Drennan, and Casey Thompson. Coach Jellison led his team to a runner-up finish in the AAA division. His team had the potential to be a top 10 team, but he was able to get the most of his wrestlers, and they finished ahead of 43 other teams across the state of Tennessee and placed second. He had 1 state champion, 3 state runner-ups, and 3 other top 6 place finishers. My second introduction and recognition goes to head coach Garrick Hall of Hickson High School. His assistants are Jonathan Durham, Christy McElhaney, Jill Moses, Ehrlich Weinsberg, and Todd Worley. His team placed 4th in the AAA state tournament. He had 1 state champion, 1 runner-up, and 6 other medalists. My third introduction and recognition goes to head coach Nathan Wehunt of Red Bank High School. His assistants are Nicholas Bohm and Brian Satterfield. His team placed 20th out of 44 teams. He had 1 state runner-up that will be recognized tonight. Now for the most important recognitions. The Hamilton County Department of Education is pleased to recognize the following. These are all the state champions or state runner-ups in wrestling who competed at the TSSAA State Wrestling Tournament in the Division I AAA. These individuals represented Hamilton County Schools in Williamson County on February 15th and 16th, 2019. At this time, the 106-pound Caleb Urachuk, an 8th grader from Signal Mountain, was a state runner-up. At the 113-pound weight class, his brother, Daniel Urachuk, a 10th grader, was a state champion. At the 120-pound weight class was Trevor Lewis, a 10th grader from Hickson High School, who was a state champion. At the 138-pound weight class, Kevin Muschel, a 10th grader from Signal Mountain, was a state runner-up. At 152 pounds, Preston Worley, a 10th grader from Signal Mountain, was a state runner-up. At the 160-pound weight class, Caden Klein, an 11th grader from Red Bank High School, was a state runner-up. And at the 285-pound weight class from Hickson High School, Devotus McCurdy, 11th grader, was a state runner-up. If you notice, not one of these wrestlers are seniors. So hopefully we will see them back here next year. And now the team of Signal Mountain High School, who were state runner-ups in the Division I AA. Please come up if you're not already up here. Before I conclude this presentation of state champions and runner-ups in wrestling, I would like to recognize one more wrestler who did not make it to the finals, but did something that I personally feel that the school board will feel proud of and would like to know. We all want to be champions, but it is the time, dedication, and determination that educational athletics provides which builds true character for all of our athletes throughout the system. I want to recognize Katie McNabb and her coaches, Tom Moss and Roy Shipley from Sell Creek High School. Katie McNabb placed 5th in the girls' division at the 170-pound weight class. She went home Friday night from the tournament because her grandmother was about to pass away. She was present when she did die. She and her family had to make a huge decision Friday evening on whether or not she would return the following Saturday morning to compete after this devastating loss. Because this tournament meant so much to her and her family, they decided to drive all the way back to Williamson County Saturday morning to weigh in at 8:30 a.m. This was the only way she would be able to medal, is to officially weigh in Saturday morning. She then decided to stay and wrestle Saturday morning after everything she went through the night before, and won one match, which gave her a 5th place medal. I wanted to recognize her tonight with all the other top 2 place finishers, because what she did and accomplished was as impressive as winning any state championship. We are extremely saddened and sorrowful for her loss, but wanted to show her how much we appreciate her true dedication to the sport of wrestling and her positive representation of Hamilton County Schools. I want to say thank you on behalf of Hamilton County Schools. Thank you.
Mr. Smith. Awesome, guys and ladies, awesome. Joe, I just want to also, we don't say it enough, I think, our coaches and the unbelievable sacrifice they make in their lives to enhance the quality of life for our young athletes. And I tell you, Coach Hall, I've been to his practices many times, and I know he teaches wrestling, but I know how he loves kids, and that's the way all these coaches are. So I want to make sure that as we're congratulating these great athletes, that we're also embracing these coaches for what they're doing with our young people. So thank you, guys. Dr. Highlander.
Guys, as an old wrestling coach, I've got to say, and lady, I appreciate you all so much. It takes more dedication. And some of you, hey, son, I don't believe you can make 113 right now, could you? probably about, I'd say you're about 10 over. But I tell you, that's okay. More than that, yeah. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. And coaches, I did it for 40 years, so I appreciate what you guys have done too. Thank you so. And you know, I will say this for the group, guys, you're in great company. You know who is in the Wrestling Hall of Fame? A great leader. President Abraham Lincoln is a Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's the kind of person that you're following. Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, young lady, will you all come forward after you get your certificates here? Let us shake your hands, please. Next, we will have our delegations. First up, Ms. Calandra Smith. Ms. Smith, before you start, let our vice chair read something, please, quickly.
Hi, Ms. Smith. Thank you for your interest in addressing the Hamilton County Board of Education. During this presentation, please address the board as a whole, not individual board members or administrators. Also, do not present complaints or concerns you have about an individual employee of the school system. If you wish to voice these complaints and concerns, you should contact the central office and ask for a meeting with the superintendent. If you're criticizing an individual employee, I'll interrupt you and ask you to refrain. If you continue to criticize individual employees, or if your remarks are in error or are becoming repetitive, I may interrupt you and ask you to sit down. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes. I'll time you and I'll give you a signal when you've got 1 more minute. You may begin.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Calandra Smith. I am the project coordinator for Hamilton County Coalition and a member of Tobacco Free Chattanooga. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the TN Strong Youth. We commend you for adopting a tobacco-free campus policy for Hamilton County schools last April. This was an important step in protecting the health of our children, preventing addiction, and helping prepare students for college, employment, and a healthy future. However, there is more work to be done. It is time to update the procedures that support the tobacco-free campus policy to ensure that the policy is consistently and effectively applied. There have been many issues involving juul use in restrooms and classrooms this school year. We have prepared some information for you to consider, and we would like to meet with your health committee to further explore solutions. Here are the TN Strong Youth to further discuss.
I am Gabrielle Miller from Hickson High School. All schools should have the same consequences. For the first offense, they should talk to a counselor and be suspended for the second.
Hi, my name is George Graves from Homeschooled. Tobacco rules are not being enforced. Smoking and vaping is still going on, especially in bathrooms and middle schools. It affects the schools and harms others.
Hi, my name is Decorian Powell. I attend Brainerd High School, and a lot of students don't know how much nicotine is actually in the e-cigs and juuls while they're at school. So.
Hi, I'm Hope Connor. I'm from Hickson High School. If teens post themselves on social media smoking or vaping, they should be penalized, such as not being able to participate in sports or being able to participate in a club.
Good evening. My name is Desmond Ware. I attend Brainerd High School, and I believe schools should provide help for those students who are addicted to tobacco use.
Hi, my name is Mike Green, and I go to Brainerd High School, and I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to let us speak to you tonight for the second time, and we look forward to hearing y'all decisions.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Could I respond?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to thank you all very much, and it's because of you all that we took a hard look at the tobacco policy and made changes. And I'd like to share with you that back in November, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Actually, in September, we did make a revision to the policy, and we did add juuls to it. So I just wanted you all to know that. But I appreciate you all coming forward because I think it's so important to hear from you what's going on at your schools. And when you all come up to us, it's so much more impactful because it makes a difference to hear from students. So thank you very much because it helps us as a board look at the policy a little bit differently. So thank you for your courage to speak to us tonight.
Next, we'll have Ms. Jeanette O'Markell, HCEA.
I know you know the drill. So I'm just going to start the timer. You go ahead and start.
Okay. Good evening, Chairman Wingate, members of the board, and Dr. Johnson. I can't believe we're already on the cusp of the fourth quarter. We are coming into the busiest and most stressful part of the school year. Benchmark testing has just finished, or almost. And in a couple of weeks, state testing begins. Teacher evaluations and summative meetings must be finalized. Graduations are being planned, proms, field trips, finals, college visits, summer jobs, summer school, summer vacations, and summer childcare being planned. Are you tired yet? Okay. At the same time, this is when budgeting needs are being finalized. We are in the midst of collaborative conferencing, staffing decisions are being made, and plans for next year are also starting. That's just a few of the things that are going on. Many of the things that are happening in our schools are dictated by what happens at the state level. In the last couple of weeks, we heard from Governor Lee of his education plans. While teachers are pleased with the many positives he has expressed, such as $30 million for school safety, $5.2 million for CTE expansion, and the proposed increase towards salaries, we have concerns about other pieces of his plans that will affect Hamilton County. Teachers from across the state have been calling, writing, and going to see their representatives in Nashville during their spring breaks. Next week, Hamilton County teachers will join them in spending 2 days of their break in Nashville, talking to our representatives, sitting in on committee meetings to speak out for and against some of the bills that have been introduced. Right now, charters are proposed to be expanded in a way that takes the decision away from the local school board, but leaves us with the cost. House Bill 940, which would effectively nullify the power of a local school board to decide whether a charter school will be allowed to operate as part of the district by creating a state charter school authorizing agency, is now expected to go before the full House Education Committee on the 20th. We hope to stop that and its companion bill, Senate Bill 796. In other states across the country, there is evidence also that students in voucher programs are not keeping up with their peers in traditional public schools, and yet that is another thing that is coming before us. There are many proven ways to use the more than $35 million to improve public schools, such as reducing class sizes so educators can spend more one-on-one time helping students. We should invest in what we know works, including recruiting and retaining qualified and committed educators, creating inviting classrooms, supplying students with modern textbooks, providing the other resources that can set all students off toward a great future. That's how taxpayer funds should be spent. Charters need to be a local decision, as local taxpayers bear a majority of the cost. Education savings accounts are vouchers with a new name, and we are not fooled. I hope you will support our effort as well with calls and emails. If you want to come up for the day on Tuesday and join us, please do. We'll be the ones wearing red for Ed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Markell. Brings us to Future Ready 2023 presentation. Ms. Claire Stockman.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Johnson. My name is Claire Stockman, and I'm the content lead for the Visual and Performing Arts in Hamilton County Schools, spanning kindergarten through 12th grade. Happy Arts in Schools Month. It's March, and as Ms. Omarkel said, we are nearing the finish line, or that home run Dr. Johnson reminded us of last week. In the arts, we know we're a part of Hamilton County Schools being the fastest improving school district in Tennessee. So it's my pleasure tonight to walk you through some of those focus areas from Future Ready 2023 and talk about the ways the arts accelerate those. We're accelerating student achievement through the new state standards for visual and performing arts. Just like standards that exist in other academic areas, we have standards for every art form, kindergarten through 12th grade. We're talking about music, dance, theater, and the visual arts. We're providing in Hamilton County very specific targeted professional development for all of our arts teachers in all of those different areas. This is ongoing professional learning, including the district-wide focus on clear learning targets as well as best practices in the classroom. We're also developing support documents called curriculum guides, which will help all teachers in similar art subjects subjects align their instruction both with state standards as well as collaboratively across every Hamilton County campus, and as we seek to provide a seamless pathway for arts education from kindergarten through 12th grade. So we've got a horizontal collaboration as well as a vertical, and we know this will make impacts for students. You'll see on the chart, last August, before I came on the scene, we had 0 curriculum guides in the arts. We had 0 collaboration K-12, and we didn't have a lot of strong horizontal collaboration either, as most arts teachers are the only teacher of their subject in their entire building. Last fall, when Mastery Connect came to our district, we had 65 curriculum guides. This really put arts on the map at the level of every other academic subject, and we are represented on Mastery Connect too, tracking student success. By next fall, August 2019, we will not only have the 65 curriculum guides for aligning instruction, but those are right now being revised and updated by teacher leader teams. So we're very proud that we will be gaining effectiveness in this area as we go towards next year. The Americans for the Arts tells us that a student involved in the arts is 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement. We are very proud to enhance opportunities to accelerate student achievement in Hamilton County schools. We also know that we impact future readiness for students. The Future Ready 2023 plan says opportunities for student choice and voice to pursue their interests and passions across the K-12 curriculum. We have visual art teachers in every middle and high school, and we are gaining ground as we hope to add positions in the elementary schools. We have dance teachers in a few schools. We have theater teachers in a few more schools. And then we're doing really well with our music coverage in the areas of elementary general music happening in every elementary school in Hamilton County. We also have secondary general music, and then we have ensemble-based performance classes including band, chorus, orchestra, and musical theater. For the past 2 days, I've been at Walker County High School attending concert performance assessment. This is like teen ready for band and orchestra, and I'm very proud to let you know that many of our ensembles scored a superior, and 2 of our ensembles performed music on a level 6. This is the highest level for elementary and secondary band repertoire, and those 2 schools were the only ones at the festival playing at that level, and they were Central High and Ottawa High. So we're very proud. It's been a great 2 days, and I'll be at CCA in the morning for Chorus Festival. I'll see you there. We've got a few pictures to demonstrate what's going on with our students. I'd love to show you more sometime. Speaking of future-ready students, we are committed in Hamilton County to increase art staff and access to materials. So the chart in front of you is showing the number of elementary school students with access to a visual art teacher, and you've got this on a color copy too. In the blue bar, you see the figures from 2017 and 18. Notice in Harrison Bay the number of elementary visual art teachers. And then the orange bar, is showing you the numbers starting with this fall. We had an influx of 9 new full-time elementary visual art positions, and we were able to make big gains in every single learning community, literally providing opportunities that students have not had in their building before that time. So we are very proud of what's happening. When I was at the Kennedy Center representing our district this year, one of their citizen artists said a student told him music is what feelings sound like. And I'd like to push that a little further and say visual art, theater, and dance are what feelings look like. So as we think about enhancing social emotional learning for our students, let's boost our existing art programs. Let's double down on that investment and make sure that every kid is reaching that maximum impact with structures that are already in place across every single Hamilton County building. We also know in the arts, we're all about engaging the community, and we're doing a great job, if I do say so, with our district-wide performance events. This starts in October with the High School Choral Festival. It continues with Hamilton Sings, which is our 5th grade honor choir. There's a picture of the kids down here in the corner in their matching t-shirts, which they're very proud of. We also collaborate with Hamilton County government on Christmas at the Courthouse, which is a huge community draw and a great partnership that's been going for a really long time. This year we added a new event, the High School Theater Festival, and shown in this picture are students from the brand new Howard High School Theater Department that just started this fall. We also have in February all-county honor bands, which is this picture at the bottom on the left. This year we were able to add high school honor bands as well as our typical middle school honor bands with the help of a venue partner in Christchurch on East Brainerd Road. It was a great success this year with that expansion. Coming up on March 28th is the Opportunity Zone Arts Showcase. That will be happening at Eastlake Academy, starting with a visual art gallery and continuing with a staged performance involving all the art forms and all of the Opportunity Zone schools. And then April 22nd, in this very room and beyond, we'll be hosting the Hickory Valley Gallery opening. So we'll be acknowledging and thanking all the students whose art has been borrowed and more art. So we're very excited to highlight our visual artists in that way, as well as our teachers who make all of these projects happen. And then finally, we're going to wrap up the year with the HCS Arts Honors. I'm trying to spread the word. It's called the Hammies, like the Grammys. That's going to be at Chat State Humanities. You like it? I'll see you there. That's going to be at Chat State Performing Arts Center, because last year the boardroom just wasn't big enough for all the kids we had to recognize. So we're super excited. One of the local news anchors has already signed on to be our MC for this glamorous evening of recognizing students. Also, you had a handout from me and some programs from a couple of those events. And then finally, when we talk about engaged community, one of the most exciting things that's happened in Hamilton County this year is our partnership with the Kennedy Center's Any Given Child initiative. The full name is Ensuring the Arts for Any Given Child. And this is an initiative that is custom tailored to our community. It is driven by a team of 30 members who represent business, government, as well as the arts community and education. And what we're looking at is, what are the assets we have in Chattanooga-Hamilton County, and how can we align those to go a further distance for students in the arts? So taking those current partners as well as potential partners in our area and asking, how can we do more for kids with what we've got, and where do we need to identify and find new resources? We have 2 experts who come to us once a month from the Kennedy Center to guide that process. They've done this process in other towns very well in the past. In fact, of the 27 communities who've partnered in this initiative, no one has left the initiative yet. The Kennedy Center thought it was a 3 to 4 year commitment, and over the last 10 years, every city who's been involved has stayed involved. So we're excited to be part of that network, to learn from those other communities, and to use that to broaden our opportunities for students. Part of that will involve resource mapping, which will be really helpful as we look at learning communities. And I have to tell you, when we were accepted for this, they told us we would be community number 27. By the time we unrolled that banner, we were community number 26, so hashtag fastest improving. I also want to tell you about a community effort that's happening to support the arts in our schools. For years and years, there have been advocates in town asking and proposing that we expand our arts offerings, and last fall, that's exactly what we did. We brought on those 9 new art teachers, and like the chart shows, really expanded what students were getting. As a thank you and an encouragement to do more, some community members have rallied their resources to develop creative change. So WRC is the media sponsor, which means you may have seen it on television already. Hopefully you're seeing it in stores. And Ms. Lennon, I have those materials you requested. We are so excited to give the community a conduit to support this work that they have asked for. Every listening session, the community says, what about the arts? So we know that there are people out there who are committed to seeing this happen. And we want to give them the opportunity to have their hand in it, to be a part in it, and to help us provide materials for arts classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stockman. That's wonderful and encouraging news to hear and see. All right, that brings us to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Do we have any items that we need to pull?
Yes, sir. I'd like to pull Roman numeral 8, F1L, please, for discussion. I think it's been some changes, but I'd like to make a comment on it.
Ms. Thurman?
Yes, I just want to follow up with some of the material that Christy gave us for the pre-K. It's 8D4C, revision of pre-K. Just make a comment, please.
Okay. Okay. All right, Ms. Ford.
Dr. Highlander.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones. Yes. Mrs. Lennon.
Yes.
Mr. McClendon.
Yes.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Smith. Yes. Mrs. Thurman.
Yes.
Chairman Wingate.
Yes. Dr. Highlander.
Thank you. In the past, historically, when new positions have been created, and I understand why Dr. Towns-Edwards and Mrs. Lennon made the change. It seems to be a little bit redundant, but I think it weakens the strength of the board the way it's been changed. And I don't think it was intended that way, but it does. They wanted to delete "will present to the board." And I understand it does seem a bit redundant. The way the language, I've got it in front of me, says to ensure job description, required qualifications, performance, and the method of which performance responsibilities to be evaluated for the board to review. I think the board needs to do more than review. It must be presented to the board, especially with new positions. And we have always had new positions presented to the board. And so I don't think there was any intention to lead us astray, but I think we need to leave in the language "will present to the board." I strongly feel that way. Perhaps some future time, maybe not now, but for some future time, it could leave an opening for people to say "available for review" is what it says now. And I think it definitely needs to be presented to the board. So, should I make that in the form of a motion? Or do you want?
So what we were looking at here, Dr. Highlander, was not that we wouldn't be presenting new positions to the board. All we were saying is that we would just ensure that the job description was available for review. So new positions would be presented, and then we would have the job description available for review.
Of course, the policy, though, does not say they will be presented, does it?
It says additional position is established. The director of schools will ensure a job description, required qualifications, etc., will be evaluated and available for the board to review.
And I think it needs to be more than available. It needs to be presented for review.
So we'll just make the we can make the change and get it, bring it back. It's not a problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
So we're going to pull that policy.
That is policy 5.101.
Do we need to make a formal motion to pull that? Okay.
I do. So move.
Okay.
Do we have a second there?
Second.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ford.
Just 1 second. Okay, Dr. Highlander.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mrs. Lennon.
Yes.
Mr. McClendon.
Yes.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Thurman.
Yes.
Chairman Wingate.
Yes. All right, Mrs. Thurman.
Yes, and I just want to tell Christy, thank you for getting this information together. There's two things that run on there. The self-funded ones, I think there's one at Normal Park and one at Westview, I think. I've just asked for additional information about those, but I just want Christy to know I appreciate you, Christy, for doing that. And but she's going to get this additional information. We have two more that are not listed here, but I just wanted to thank her for that. Thank you.
Mr. Thurman, so can we make a motion to approve and put that back on?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve, yes.
Get a second?
Second.
Dr. Highlander.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mrs. Lennon.
Yes.
Mr. McClendon.
Yes.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Thurman.
Yes.
Chairman Wingate.
Yes. Okay, so that brings us down to administrative business matters. Correct?
Correct.
All right, so we've got the Howard High School TDOT easement. Mr. Witt?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Wingate. What you have before you is a request from TDOT for a temporary construction easement and slope easement for improvements to the off-ramp, the corner of the previous POS home sites and Market Street. They're offering $26,300 for those temporary easements. And after review, it shouldn't affect any of future development or any of our plans that we have for that site. So I've recommended approval.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Go ahead.
Second.
I do have a question. What will we do with that $26,000? Will it go back to the school or will it go toward the construction project? I'm just curious. Do we have a plan for it?
That's a good question. Right now, I just have it for approval. We did not allocate it for anything.
I'll help you spend it.
Yeah. I would say, a great idea would be continued maintenance on the new field that's going down. It'd be a big help to get them a fertilizing program and to maintain the field.
Okay, Ms. Ford.
Dr. Highlander.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mrs. Lennon.
Yes.
Mr. McClendon.
Yes.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Thurman.
Yes.
Chairman Wingate.
Yes. All right, that brings us to an approval of special courses for next year, 2019-2020. Dr. Robertson.
We've got a list of courses before you that we're seeking approval to submit to the state for the 2019-2020 school year.
Do we have a motion to approve special courses?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Dr. Robertson, is this pending the availability of teachers in the building? Or
Sure. So this is really just to cover courses that schools are thinking about offering.
Right,
We have to go ahead and get approval. We're trying to clean up our course codes right now and make sure that those are in line with what the state has, but these are ones that we cannot find a course code within the state's offerings. And so we have to get your approval to then submit to the state.
Yeah, I've done some background on the AVID course. That's really excellent course. I'm just concerned that we don't take from the classroom to add some of the courses.
So the plan in place at Brown Middle is a little bit further along than at Central, and they're looking at using a related arts position to run AVID through related arts. And there's a little bit of an additional cost that they would look at possibly through their title funds to pay for it, but really is a great program to put kids on a trajectory towards.
Definitely is. I'm assuming a lot of these will be at principal's discretion or director's.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's some great programs there. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, Ms. Ford.
Dr. Highlander.
Yes.
Mrs. Hill.
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
Yes.
Mrs. Lennon.
Yes.
Mr. McClendon.
Yes.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Thurman.
Yes.
Chairman Wingate.
Yes. Brings us to our events and announcements. Many events and announcements there listed. Most of those learning community advisory sessions, also some board work sessions there. I would like to make note of, obviously, next week's spring break. Then March 28th, the Opportunity Arts Showcase. March 29th, report cards go out. And next regularly scheduled board meeting, April the 18th. Anyone else have any announcements?
I have an announcement.
Go ahead.
It's Ms. Jones.
The Brainerd High School Panthers will be playing Friday night for the state championship.
Yes, they will.
They won last night against Procon, 76-73.
It's a semi.
Oh, well, whatever. The next level. They playing on Friday, and I'm boasting about my kids because ain't nobody else up here on the state other than Howard. So
In Murfreesboro.
And it's
you
on
can
TV.
watch it. You can watch it on live stream on my phone.
Channel 45. Oh.
But what's the thing? I have it on my phone. Oh, the TSSAA.
What time?
Well, 12:45.
Okay.
I have it in my phone, the link in my phone. But I'm really proud of those gentlemen. They've been through a lot. We know the team has been through a lot, and so I'm very proud of them. And I pray that they win and bring home the big trophy, because they get so close and they never come home with that trophy. But I want them to come home with that trophy.
Well, not a never, but it's been a while.
Since I've been on the board. Now, I know they had some championship teams, but I want them to win while I'm on the board.
I'd like to make a motion with relation to I make the motion that we all get together in unison and say, "Go Panthers."
We'll do that right before we adjourn.
Right before we adjourn. That's our adjournment.
Ms. Thurman, do you have something?
Yes. Who's doing the schedule for the graduations this year?
Oh, Lord, it's already done.
I know. Okay, that's you. I want you to know I will personally hurt you. And I don't go out for sportsmanship award. I will hurt you to win. If you do to me what they did to me last year, where Sequoia and Saudi Daisy High School were
too late. That's
at
me.
the same time.
That's me this year.
It's been addressed, Ms. Thurman.
I had to run to my car. I almost missed both of them.
That's me this year,
I spent
Rhonda.
most of my time on the road trying to find a parking place to get into the two venues.
That's me. It's Brainerd at 8:30 and Tyner at 9.
Oh, wow.
And I'm pregnant, so I have a police escort coming, right, Dr. Bradshaw? Yeah, well, we already hashed this out.
All right.
Because my kids look for me.
Anybody else? All right, we'll go Panthers on 3 as I hit the gavel.
On 3, ready?
1, 2, 3, go Panthers.
Go Panthers!
Meeting adjourned. Record time.
Good job, Coach.